I was at a birthday party at a bar. Shocker.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would have never guessed you, pinned you to be at
You
a
got
bar.
you have good friends.
Yeah. Well,
The torture of a birthday party, but then you get to, at least be at a place where there's unlimited cocktails.
I know, and I wasn't paying for them, so that was glorious.
That poor Bill.
So I was just walking up, getting some food, and turn around, and look who's on the Golf Channel. Old Woody. Yeah.
Weird. I don't know why.
It is weird, right? I didn't think anything happened.
No.
Must have missed something there.
I don't know, man.
Oh, no. Yeah, our guy Woody just completely kicked ass last week and dominated U.S. Open qualifier. What do they call it? Like qualifier 1 or A?
It's the locals, and then basically you're going to. It's called sectionals, but it's nationals. It's the final stage.
So they take three. They take 3 per state. Is that correct?
I don't know how. No, that depends on. So I was in the top 3. I was tied for 3rd, but they took 5 at ours because of strength of field.
That makes sense. They're like not just saying the top 3. They're like if you're a top 10 golfer in Nebraska and then you would beat Iowa, then you would kind of go or something.
Well, and we had a guy there that he qualified. He's a buddy of mine. He played in the U.S. Open last year, so that carries weight too. So like if you played in the Open, that carries weight. Yeah, I mean,
what if you caddied in the Open? Does that carry weight?
If what?
If I caddied in the Open?
I know you carry a lot of weight, but I don't know if you.
Wow.
That's fire.
It's lonely at the top, isn't it, Danny?
That was pretty nails though, right there, wasn't it? Was that a nice transition?
Yeah. I mean,
it was funny. I think you honestly look like you're 290 right now. Anyways, we'll get to that later. No, it's the most bizarre thing that's people. Yeah. It's one of the most bizarre things that has ever happened in my entire life.
Okay. Obviously, like, I'm not going to let you skate away from that. Like, take the floor. Tell us why.
Yeah.
All in full detail.
Yeah. So like, guys, this is, as you guys know, and I think a decent amount of people know, like that, this is what I love doing. It's my passion. It's what football is not here anymore. And this has kind of taken that spot of football as far as like the competitive, everyone knows that has ever listened to us, the competitive nature that I have. I'm telling you, like being on the first hole, there's nothing ever better than in like an actual tournament. Like some like tournaments at the club, like I'm kind of whatever, but like being in like I'm alone stroke play, I don't get any strokes from this guy that's a +5 or whatever. It's like, it's just me and these cats, and I have to go shoot a good enough score. Well, there's like 84 people, I think, something like that signed up, somewhere in that realm, right? And it was at OCC, my home course, and I finally have felt, I think last year is when I felt like, okay, I think I'm good enough to like start competing at stuff. And obviously that happened in the making the Final Four of the 4-ball in the Nebraska amateurs match play. And so I've had some confidence, but this year I've kind of been hit or miss, playing good, whatever, like very, very miss. And it's funny, 2 days before I didn't play very good. And I was like, okay, I haven't been practicing. I'm going to go practice. I'm going to go grind until I can figure it out that I'm going to keep the ball in front of me and I'm going to be able to make pars. And obviously I'm going to make some birdies, but you're going to make bogeys. Like that's golf. But like, I'm going to be able to keep the ball in front of me. So I went and grinded for 3 hours the day before the tournament. Cause I was like, I will figure this out. I went on the range. I went on the putting green, and it was
3 hours before on the same day.
No, not on the same day. The day before, I spent 3 hours, but 3 hours on the range and on the putting green is a lot for like an average Joe like us.
Mm-hmm.
And
sweet.
I was just grinding, and I got to the point where I was like, I think I can get it around. And I had a very good feeling that even would get in. That was just my feeling. And after talking to people and knowing how difficult OCC is.
Yeah, I was gonna say even better get in at
Yeah.
OCC.
Yeah. So like I end up thinking like I know everyone is like, oh, I don't, do you have a chance? Whatever. I play the oh shucks. Like, I don't know. I'm going to have fun. But like I was going in to try and qualify.
I'm going to have fun. That is I've never heard that coming out of your mouth ever. I know, it's so funny. I know. It's just easy. It's easy. It's right. Easy. I get it.
It's like, yeah, oh shucks. I'm an amateur. I played football.
Well, and
this is going to be a fun experience.
And to be honest, that's what people want to hear out of you.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at you going, there's not a serious chance here.
And I, on the other hand,
you want to step on their throats.
Yeah, twice.
Make people choke.
Yeah.
And maybe crush their vocal cords.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, so like I did think that I had a shot because I mean, I've shot under par out there. Like, it's not like, you know, like even I can go shoot even. And, you know, I felt like the day before I put in enough practice. I'm like, yeah, I think I can. Like 2 days before I thought I was good. And then next thing you know, I hit the ball like a jabroni. And then I was like, no, I'm practicing and I'm actually going to know where things are going. I'm going to do whatever. And then something I didn't tell everyone too, the Golf Channel sent out a camera crew to film my whole round because there's going to do a special the week of the Open that I'm trying to qualify. And I think their thought was too like, oh, this is neat. He played football and now he's trying to qualify, but there's no chance he's qualifying, but he's trying to qualify. So I had cameras, mics everywhere for the whole. I think they had to go get lunch. So they skipped like 2 holes. And it was crazy. It was just like nuts. Like just they're on the range, a little embarrassing. It's like, gosh, like what are they doing? But like, I guess this is cool. I love golf. So like, I'll be on TV. Cool, whatever. And next thing you know, we get to the first tee and I'm like, you know what? Just stay relaxed, stay chilled. And I just completely destroy a drive down the fairway. It goes through the fairway into the first cut, but I just hammer it. Then I hit a second shot to like 15, 20 feet, almost make the putt. Easiest par in the world in a competitive golf round. Like that matters. And so like, this is something, the ball has to go in the hole every time. It's not like, pick it up. That's good. A no-brainer par. There's nothing better to settle you down. So then we go into 2. I hit a good drive, wait for an hour. I feel like to hit my second shot because it's a par 5, pull it, not in a good spot and end up hitting a chip to about 10 feet, like about as good as I could have hit it. And I have a downhill putt. It's probably 2 cups outside and rolling a birdie. And I'm like, okay,
good start.
Let's go. And it's weirdly, I had a little lull in the front 9 and I end up shooting +2 on the front 9, which shouldn't have happened. I probably should have been 1 deep. And I'm like, all right. So like, it's kind of funny. It's kind of my whole story of life. And so there was like some perseverance. +2's not getting in, I'm saying in my head. I'm like, no chance. But I end up birdieing 10. I end up going par. Should have had another birdie on 13. It was a drivable par 4 that, I mean, I don't want to say it was ballsy to go for it, but I put in the green side bunker. Definitely, I didn't think
you did go for it.
Yeah.
You did.
And I don't want to say it was ballsy, but like it was a big left to right wind. OB is right.
Yeah. And
like
it comes up
quick.
Yeah,
you remember it. And I put it in the green side bunker. And usually, not 9 times out of 10, but most of the time I'm getting that up and down. I didn't. And then on 14, there's a really tough pin and I hit it to like 2 feet. So I get back to even and I'm like, okay, let's go. 15, I hit it to about 15 feet and I just leave it short, but it was in the heart. 16, the par 5, like I should have birdied. I thought I hit a great, but OCC happened where it caught one of the hills and I barely missed the birdie. 17 is the famous little putt that you've seen now on Twitter or Instagram or whatever article wanted to show it. And that got me to 1 under. And there was nothing better than getting on 18T knowing like, don't screw this up. And it's like, no, I'm taking the same approach. I'm just chilling, relaxing my face, relaxing my arms a little bit. And I pipe a drive straight back into the wind. So like that was a little, that felt good because it's like there was a lot of pressure on that tee shot. Cause you know that tee shot from the backs on 18. That's like, they didn't play that tee at the US Senior Open. We played the tees where they were supposed to be played. US Senior Open played them up, like way up. So it was a different course than even that. And they played it at the easiest conditions, the softest conditions. This was not that. And not that we were so great, but I'm just saying like it's difficult. Yeah. But then it ended up playing
firmed up fast around here.
Yeah. And then I had an into the wind shot uphill, 149 yards. And I'm like, what on earth? I'm like, do I hit 6 iron? Like, and you know how I hit the ball far with my irons. I took 7 iron, ended up being short, and it collected down to the left. Ended up hitting a great chip shot, and OCC happened again. Usually that putt that I had, if it was like maybe a foot right the hole, I make the putt because it breaks right. Well, I thought it did, but it ended up breaking left because there's so many subtleties in OCC. Ended up getting in with even, ended up being enough. But like, there were just shots that like, there were a couple where like, I was like, yeah, that's sick. Especially my back 9. Like I shot 2 under on the back. Probably should have went deeper, but like, that's okay. I got in. So like, but like, there was just like I didn't have my best stuff. Like that to me is what's even crazier. Like I didn't have my best stuff. I just kept it in front of me and wasn't an idiot.
Well, I have watched you play OCC hole 18 many times. And for the next time, make sure you leave yourself a 30-footer and you'll probably drain it.
I'll probably make it.
Yeah, the problem is you were trying to chip it tight, like super close. I know. No, you don't do that on 18. You need like a 30-plus footer.
You need drama.
Yeah.
Well, I should have just punched a 6 iron up there.
If you do miss it, I mean, you're burning the edge and leaving it an inch to the hole. That's how I've seen you putt on 18. Every one of them has been a 30-footer. And it's just like, God, this is going in.
It's yeah. It's crazy, but like, I don't know, man. Like, and then the waiting to make sure you get in, that was crazy. But also like, then so like I understood it was a big deal, right? I didn't understand how big of a deal. Like I understood like it was a big deal for me, like personally, like, yeah, I get a chance to get in the Open. I didn't understand the magnitude it would be nationally. I had no idea. Like borderline shocking to me. Like I was like, oh, and then I hear about guys that like pros, like this is huge for them. Like they're like, and not all pros get in. And it's like, oh, like this is a big deal, right? Like it's one of those things like, oh crap, like what I'm dealing with is
no. That's not a big deal. You know what I think a gift of yours is, and you know, we've never talked about it. Yeah. I just think you especially, I don't know if anybody captures the beginner's mind as well as you do. And do you know what I mean by beginner's mind? It's called like a child's mind, where they're fearless. Like their life hasn't gotten a hold of them and put limitations on them. And I think that is one of your really strong gifts, is you just always believed in your Lord and you always believed in your capabilities, and that's nothing else got in the way. And I think that like play that in your strength. Like, this isn't a big deal. We're here podding again. Right. You're the same dude, right?
Yeah. Like nothing's changed. It's just, I didn't see how big of a deal it would be to other people. Like, to me, it's like a big deal. Like, yeah, I'm moving on. I'm at that next step, right? I'm just one step away now. And that's wild. Like, if you would have 4 years ago, I was a 5 or a 6 handicap. And guys, this wouldn't even, like, because that's around what you are right now, Slaw. Like, you can't, like, it's hard to see, like, oh, I have a chance at qualifying for the Open. What? No, like, that's not really, like, I'm just grinding, trying to figure things out, trying to get, like, I have all these like little goals. And it's funny because I remember when I was getting, like, I was like, I'm going to try to get really good. And people are like, hey, I'm just going to warn you. I'm going to warn you now. The lower you get, it's going to be harder to keep going down. It's like, okay. Like,
yeah. Isn't that how it works?
Yeah. Is that what it is? So no, but then they're like, yeah,
the more amazing you get, the harder it is.
No, but they're like, if you get to what? If you get to a 2, but they're like, if you get to a 2, getting those last 2 strokes to a scratch is, I mean, you're gonna have to grind. Or once you get to the pluses, it's like, you finally get to the pluses, yeah, but to keep it there, I don't know. Almost like in maybe they didn't even mean it as that. But every time someone said something like that, I take it as a slight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I take, like, really? Like, so you don't think I'm going to be able to keep it there?
It just adds to the fuel of the competition.
Yeah. Well,
bro.
And it's funny because that's kind of my whole life, right? Like, not
everybody always telling you what you can't do, right?
Yeah,
that's so funny.
And it's kind of silly, and I have a freaking problem with that, I think, because, like, I turn, and Slaw knows this, even on our guys trip with Croker and Haas, like, Haas kind of gave me a compliment one time, and I turned it on him like he was the biggest jabroni. Like, I couldn't stand him. And that next hole I birdied. And then the next hole I parred from a trash can. And then the next hole I chipped in from, like, I didn't think I could get up and down. And I chipped in for birdie. It's just like, it's a weird switch that I have. And I don't know if it's, I mean, it's good for competition. I don't know if it's always good for life. But
we got to control that beast. But
yes. And it's, but it's something I know, like, I at least I acknowledge it. Yeah, but man, like, it's funny you say about the child, like, yeah, I think we
all could learn from it. I mean, honestly,
why, and like, what fun is it? And like, you're limiting your growth in anything if you put
limitations on it. You put limitations, and life just happens to do that to people. Like, oh, I'm too old, I can't do that. I'm too late in my career. I've been with this company too long. Okay, then if you say you can't. Like,
there's 100% chance you're not. Like, and it's just funny. I mean, how it is, like, I take people saying, like, oh, it's really cool you qualified for sectionals, but it's different up there. It's like, sure, yeah, guys, I'm not getting hit by 300-pound D tackles. You think I'm scared of this? I'm not. If I went out and shot bad rounds, I don't qualify. It's the same as the person that gets 1 stroke behind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's not, like, it's not going to intimidate me. Like, I don't care. I have no care, like, about that. Like, it's not going to intimidate me. And just the whole round, something, it's funny. You talked about my faith, Scott. I was literally out loud because my business partner caddied for me, and he's his faith's huge. Like, I was not like out loud so everyone could hear, but I was like whispering the whole time. I was in like constant prayer because, like, it matters to me. Like, I really care. Does that mean I'm going to go shoot 10 under if I'm praying? No, it's not that, but there's something too about the peace that it brings me to, almost like not a care level, but like, I'm okay either way. And it definitely frees me up. Like, it freed me up so much. And like, like I said, I didn't play my best golf, but I was able to get around the course, and it just kind of like, I didn't get really phased by anything. I hit a shot that wasn't good, and I ended up making a crucial bogey on hole 7 that I made like a 5-footer that was left to right breaker. That was like crucial, but I didn't get like really, not like phased, but I didn't get uptight. So like stuff like that was really big. Like me just kind of knowing that this is super important to me, but not like everything to me. So like it was pretty crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah. And now you go to you said Springfield, Ohio for the next deal?
Yeah, I go to Springfield, Ohio.
And what is that course like?
So it's supposed to be like tricky greens, like really tricky greens, but like that's kind of why I selected, is because Slaw knows my short game's usually been a strength and my putting's been a strength. So like that's kind of why I selected it. So it looks like Springfield, Ohio, will be the spot, right? But we'll kind of have to wait and see too, because it could switch. It'd be Oregon or Maryland, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Springfield, Ohio. Tee to green, it doesn't mean I'm going to go shoot 4 under or whatever, right? But like tee to green, there's not a ton of places that are a lot more difficult. Like OCC is a second shot, like that second shot at any green, not really the easiest. Wouldn't you agree, Slaw? Like,
oh my God.
Because a lot of it's elevated, or a lot of there's runoffs, and then next thing you know, you're on the collar, and then you're in trouble, and it's just, there's a lot.
Like hole 8 and hole 18 are just so stupid far, all uphill.
Well, we're not even talking about 12 either, and 12 is long. I mean, 8's a tough. Oh yeah, 8's 12. A tough hole because it's 483 uphill into the wind every time. Like
every time, and it's so tight. Like the fairway is what, like 20 paces across.
Well, and that's the thing that people don't understand more than, well, and it goes left to right. The fairway does too. But if you're in the rough's aggressive out there. So like, it's more so like, how am I going to putt? How is my short game going to be? How, like, am I going to hit proximity to the hole? Am I going to give myself some chances? But I don't know, man. Like, I'm excited for it. Like it's something to keep pushing after. Like, and the crazy thing is what something like that will do for your confidence. Guys, I've played obviously a few more times since, and like shot 1 under, even, like whatever. I played a couple days after, didn't play great because I was just like, where am I? I don't even feel like playing golf, just because of the whole media storm of everything. Like, it was just a lot. But like, it gave me a confidence that like, and I was just like kicking it around, shooting that. Like, I made some stupid mistakes, whatever. All right. And it's just a different, like, I was hitting the ball fine, but that one time, knowing I can do it in pressure situation with pros, like, because there's pros at that tournament, and then there are also like really good AMs, like college AMs. And if I was able to do it in that situation, I mean, it gives you a confidence that you're like, huh, okay. And it gives me a huge confidence because I play with Carson and Alex Shockey, who are pros here in Omaha, and they both qualified too. And so like, it's one of those things. Now, are they more consistent? Yeah, obviously. I mean, but like, I've played with them, and I can play with them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're hitting the ball 70 yards further than me. It's not like they're doing all these different things. Now, are they sharper? Yes. Are they better golfers? Yes. But like, I can still, like, on any given day, you don't know what can happen. I mean, I think that was kind of proved. And I still didn't even like play unreal. I played fine. Like, I mean, I played pretty solid, but like, that's the thing. I didn't put myself in terrible situations, and I putted pretty solid. You do that, and then maybe even you catch a time where you hit good second shots too. That would be helpful. Because I mean,
hold on. So what you're saying is if you stay out of trouble and you putt well,
exactly,
your score will be low.
Yeah,
shit,
I know.
I've been doing this all wrong.
You have. Well, the thing is, it's like
try to slice in the trees. I thought that was part of it. You got to do like a Phil Mickelson thing coming out.
It's almost like you have to play, and this sounds funny, but like aggressively conservative. You know what I mean? Like, know where you're going. Like, be aggressive at spots. So like, hey, I can miss it left. Well, let's be aggressive to the left center of the fairway and even a tad into, like, just be aggressively conservative. I mean, that's kind of the whole, I mean, there's this thing called decade golf, and it's like you hit to certain spots. What's the percentages? Yada, yada, yada. If you're aggressively conservative, like, it's going to be great. Like, if I'm playing a draw and there's a pin that's left, we'll just aim for the right side of the green. And I'm going to draw it a little. If I not hook it, but overdraw it, it's right next to the pin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that are, it's just been interesting. It's been fun. It's been one of the most exhilarating times of my entire life. And there was hardly anyone out there to watch it except the camera crew. Right. But like, it was just like, I mean, I felt like I was in my element.
I mean, all you guys are freaks. Like, if you're competing in that, you're all, I mean, it's all real close, right? Like, whoever has a good day and a bad day.
For sure.
So you're all physical freaks. You're all practice. Like, you've all put in the time, right?
Yes.
So what's the one thing that's different?
I mean, your mind has to be.
Right. And who has had the preparation? Like you said, bro, there's not 300-pound linemen running after me to knock me out of full speed.
I could care less. Like,
that's the advantage.
Oh,
the
you
child's
had 5
mind. feet
and you had 3 birdies. Awesome. And you beat me that day. Awesome. I'm not getting injured from another man. Right. like they asked me that. I was on Golf Central the other day, and that was the same. They're like, yeah, there's going to be little bigger guns. And they were like, are they going to hit me? Oh, we're good then. Right. Like, they're not going to come at my ankles, or they're not going to swing a club at my ankles. Fine. Then move on. Let's compete. And yeah, you know what? A lot of these guys, on a lot of days, they're probably going to beat me. But let's see, you know, we all get to play 36 holes. So let's just see what happens. If I play really good, weird things could go down. I mean, if I play good, you never know, right? I don't know what the scores are going to be, and I don't care what the scores are going to be. But I do know the next couple weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, whatever it is, I'm going to be preparing. Like, I mean, I'm preparing for this. Like, I'm preparing for the Super Bowl. Like, am I going to overdo it? No, it's just like, I'm going to make sure I never practice my short game ever. I never practice my short game. And that's probably one of, like, I do it all right. Well, I'm going into like a different practice mode. It's not like overdo it, like press to where like you're like feeling pressure. No, it's just like, I'm just going to practice my shots a little bit more. So like, I think that would probably help. It's funny going into tournaments sometimes. I mean, because part of it's like, I'm just getting out, playing golf, going home because I want to get back to my family. You know, it's like slaw. And that's kind of what I do is like, I go play golf, come back, and it's not a lot of practice, like dedicated practice. Well, now because of it, there's going to be a little bit more dedicated practice. And I'm going to put just a little bit more care on like the smaller things, because when this isn't like your profession or whatever, like you're playing and you're trying to get better, but you might not be doing some of the little things. And I'm now like, you know, why not? Like, not a lot of people get to this situation. So yeah, I'm going to do that.
Two things. I'll save one for Woodrow's wisdom. Oh my gosh, look at the cup. And look at the edit. So I don't know if you want to share this or you could share this, but tell me the one person that's reached out to you during this time that you never thought, like, you know what I mean? Like, was it someone famous? Was it another pro golfer that's like kind of said something to you on the back end? Maybe you don't want to share that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Is there anybody
I don't know if there was one person. I mean, looking through my phone, I was getting so many random like texts. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Right.
Who are you?
I mean,
Bro,
yeah,
I was getting random texts for you.
I was too, actually. And people going, your boy. I mean, like crazy.
Yeah. So many calls are like, dude, did Woody just qualify? And I knew what you shot because I followed it creepily in the background.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. He hasn't called me yet. So I'm just kind of sitting here waiting.
I mean, there's honestly just a lot of people in the golf world that are like, Max reached out to me. That didn't really shock me.
No.
But I mean, it's still cool. Joe Scovern, Ricky Fowler's caddy, he reached out to me. And then there are people from different podcasts, people that I like done podcasts for. I mean, it's crazy. Josh McDaniels reached out to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Who's
like,
that?
So like, I mean, Weddle obviously did. We were talking, and like Weddle might be more excited for this than I am. Like, it's just like it was kind of crazy. Like, and it's cool because like people, I don't know, they're just genuinely happy for me, and that's pretty cool. Like someone from Golf Week reached out to me that did an article on me a while back. Brandon Crick, a guy from Nebraska that plays on the Corn Ferry Tour. Scott Gucheski he plays on the PGA Tour. Just a lot of people, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's like, what the heck, right? Like, but it shows too, like a lot of people actually pay attention. They just pay attention to this stuff, and I didn't know because I haven't been in the golf world that long, right? And I guess I didn't understand the magnitude of what happened. I mean, I knew like I said earlier, I knew the magnitude of what it meant for myself as a golfer. I just didn't know everyone else kind of really knew about it. But guys, this is like crazy, like now it's like lining everything up, getting ready for Springfield, as long as it is Springfield, which I believe it will. But if it's not, wherever the heck it is, I don't care. You could put me in another country playing in this, in this qualifier. I'm just excited to have the opportunity. Like, man, like, I don't even know what to like compare this to, like, because this is not my profession. I'm not supposed to be good at it. And man, it's one of those things though too. Like I'm so thankful for, like, I'm like we were at church and I had so much like gratitude, because it's like, first of all, not a lot of people get to experience it, right? I got to experience 10 years in the NFL, which was just sick. Awesome. And then I been able to get better. And then it's just like, it's just crazy. Like, next thing you know, I'm doing this, that, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, and I was just so thankful. I was like, not that, like, it's not that I'm a special person. It's not that I'm like better than, like, a better person than anyone else, but I was like, just thankful. Everyone, I think in our lives, we have things to be thankful for. Like, if we like seriously sit back and think, like, oh man, like, I'm very thankful for that. Oh, I'm very, like, it's all on different levels. Like, man, when we were younger, we didn't have a ton of money growing up. And I had the most hardworking dad and mom ever. Didn't have a ton of money. But when we had things, it's like, man, we had a lot to be thankful for. We had a house, we had food, we had so much to be thankful for. And so it's like, everyone has it in different ways. But I was like, I felt like really a sense of gratitude that God allowed me to do these things. Because it's like, I got to experience like 10 years and I got to experience the Super Bowl. Now I'm getting to experience this. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's so kind of a God to allow it to happen to me. And God's kind in all different ways. Like everyone's is different, but it's as big, right? But it's just mine right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, because this is what I love. It's just like, wow, this is like incredible. Like, why am I allowed, or why am I allowed to be able to do that? Why was I allowed to have and I'm not saying I'm like the most talented golfer, but like I was allowed to have very good hand-eye coordination. I was allowed to have unbelievably explosive hips, right? I mean, I have 4 kids, but I mean, and golf, like long drive. But no, but like I'm being serious. Like if I think of like all these different things, I'm unbelievably thankful that competition is one of my, otherwise I'm also not getting here, because then I don't have the drive. I don't have to do these certain things. So it's like, man, it's just, I'm in a way, and maybe it's because I'm 37 years old too now, and just in a different place in my life, in my spiritual walk. But like, I see these things and it's like, dang, like this is really neat. And it's like, this is the type of stuff I'm interested in. And I've been allowed to be very good at it.
In the end, though, yes, and really well said. And it is incredible, your self-awareness on that, and you understand that. But in the end, someone that's just watching you played football and they go, oh, he's just naturally gifted. Nobody knows the amount of work that you're putting into that. I mean, let's not brush that off.
So the thing is that I always go back to, and this could be anything. Like this could be, hey, Scott, like what you know how to do with communications, with all the technical audio, everything, marketing. If that's just your talents, right? Like you're very talented at that. If you're not working hard at those talents and using the gifts that you've been given, well, you're kind of shortcutting it. Like you're not shortcutting. You're just not, your ceiling is not going to be what it should be, or what it should be. Because like, man, at the end of the day, like with any talent that I have, I don't want to waste it, because like God's given those to us. Mine's different realm, like it's an athletic realm, but I think there's also in like communication realm, or in like hopefully making people when I'm around them, hopefully
impacting them. You're impacting people.
Yes. Because that's I think what we're supposed to do on earth, and with whatever talents we have. Like you're impacting people in a different way than I do. Mm-hmm. Mine's a lot of times on the athletic level, most of the time, right? And I mean, sometimes it's on like the public speaking or whatever, but we all have an opportunity to do that. And God's not like, so the way I like, we still have to try to use our gifts to the best of our ability. Like that's our job, like to work hard and use our gifts. So I'm trying to do that now. It's different because it's athletically, but man, I'm going to do everything I can to use every gift that I've been given, in a way that God would want me to use it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, like God gave me the gift of competition. Like I'm just doing my best at it and trying not to ruin people's lives as far as like with words. I am in competition, but like in words, unless it's slaw, maybe I'll try to ruin his life with that. But he knows that just my close friends and my brothers. So that's that. Man, we all have gifts and we all have talents. I don't care what anyone says. Like some people are like, well, I'm just pretty good at being average, but are you? Like, I mean, you actually like, I'm just kind of okay at a lot of things. It's like, well, I don't know. Like, I think you have a lot of talents. Just do your best with them, right?
Woodrow's wisdom. I actually covered twice of what I wanted to ask. So here's one thing I will ask.
That's
You talked about now you're really putting a lot of care into the little things as you're going to be training, like it's the Super Bowl for the upcoming next event. So I want to understand your process of that. How do you form that plan? Do you work with the coach or do you all do it yourself? And then how do you track it to know where you're heading and where you're not?
Yeah, I don't think there's a tracking thing. Except that you're more comfortable with hitting the shots. That's a feeling, right? That's a hard way to track numbers wise, or it has to be. And because I'm a feel golfer, like I'm a feel player. So what I'm going to do is there's going to be more dedicated practice instead of going and hitting the ball going to hit balls 30, 45 minutes before. There's probably going to be a couple hours of practice too. And just like a little bit more dedicated on this, not a little bit, dedicate a lot more on my short game, just a ton. And I'm going to dedicate that instead of the full swing. Not that I have it figured out with the full swing, but my full swing's not terrible. I mean, and
also practicing your chipping and putting, it doesn't like take a toll on you. It doesn't tax your body
at all.
Like you can go chip and putt for all day long.
And if you can chip and putt, if you can get up and down out of a trash can, I'll tell you what, that your game's going to travel anywhere. And so I'll be doing a lot more of that. I've always practiced and I've cared, but like this is just a little bit different, right? I mean, when you're in something like this, you want to put a little extra in. Not that it's my job, but it's like, tell you what, if you qualify for like US Open, there's probably some benefits, especially in Boston. I mean,
yeah, you have I don't want connections there.
And I don't want to make it bigger than it is, but if you think about it, and there's no pressure because I'm like, it's weird. I have no pressure in golf. I don't know why. Like, I mean, I'll get nervous before and whatever, but like, there's just no pressure.
Because you trained yourself for that's 20 years in the NFL of being an uncomfortable every hour of the day. And like, maybe that's the reason.
And maybe that's why too, is because I like the uncomfortable. So it's like, it's kind of in my zone. But outside of like certain stories, it would be a big story, like big. And that's even something I recognize. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I'm sure as heck going to do everything I can to make it happen. And so, yeah, like I'm doing everything like it's a job. Because, I mean, there could be some benefits, obviously, at some point.
It could be a job. You're just going through the interview process right now.
Right now, I don't know if it's that far, Scotty. You know how I am. I just like to put one foot in front of the other. Today, I'm going to go chip and putt because it looks like it's going to storm. So I'll chip and putt. I'll do probably an hour of that today. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. This is just, I love the game and I love the sport so much. It's just a blast. And I don't mind doing the small things. Cause that's what I've always have done. So I don't mind chipping and putting. Like I like it. I want to be comfortable with every shot. Like I want to have 3 different shots I could play. Or with 3 different clubs or 3 different shots with a 60-degree wedge around the green. And then another shot with a 55 and maybe even one with 50, even though I usually don't with that. But like, I want to be able to do that, because when you're in those uncomfortable situations, it's like, you don't want that to be the first time you try that shot. So like if I'm comfortable around the greens, that's going to make things much better, right?
Should I go find Gabe, or we
Yeah.
good?
Oh,
Yeah, get Gabe in here. I don't know what's going to happen. There's been a lot of Danny talk. We'll see what happens when Gabe and the kids come in.
We're keeping it short today. We're keeping it short because it's celebrate Danny time, because this is pretty fucking cool.
Let's be honest, guys. Before kids, you can come in here. Fine, get in here. I'll even tell you before Slauson starts the story.
And by the way, kids, if you guys can, if you're in good terms with your parents and your parents own big companies, we'd love to take the Out of Nowhere podcast to wherever the qualifier is. Mm-hmm. And we'd love to make you the title sponsor if that's something you'd be into.
Oh, kids.
And we'll keep you focused, Danny. We're not gonna screw with your game, but we'll make it work. Probably be more comfortable when you have a bunch of clowns around you.
That's usually the case.
I'm going to keep it light.
Yes, but
bush light.
But when you say that this was like a kind of cool deal, I will say this, and I'm going to go on record saying this. I don't know if it's cooler, right? This is up there with the Super Bowl and like a Super Bowl touchdown. Like this is like for myself, like, because this is crazy. I'm like not supposed to be good at it, and like I didn't even know. Like I mean, obviously we don't put limits on things. Don't put limits on things, kids.
Never.
But like it's wild. Let's just leave it at that. So I'll tell you your story, but it's wild.
Yeah. So again, my story is going to be short. I'm not going to talk about golf. I have played a couple times, and it was just sort of meh. So whatever. So just my traditional other times is either coaching the kids in baseball or working cows. And the other day I was over at my neighbor's house. We got to run his cow. We got to work his cows. We got to vaccinate them and tag the calves and get them moved out to pasture. So we were running them through the chute, and his swing gate on his, it's called a tub. It's kind of like a sorting pen where you can kind of push them through into the chute. The swing gate broke, and it's a very, very heavy gate. So there's no way to push the cows into the chute. And so I start climbing over to get in there. And my neighbor's like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go in there. There's a bunch of angry moms and scared calves. And I just don't want to see anything bad happen. I'm like, got this. So jump right on in there. And my wife is over there with us, so she can get to see exactly how stupid I am when I go over there. And jump in there, and I'm sort of just walking the cows around the pen, and moms are very, cautious would be an understatement, I think. And I mean, the cows are just terrified. They're just zipping around, and the moms are looking at me like, if you even come close, I'm ending you. And my neighbor's like, bro, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Those are giant animals. I go, yeah, I'm familiar with this. This is right up my alley. So all I did is I walk right through the middle of the moms. I just scoop up a calf quick and toss it in the chute and flip around. And I just stick my finger in the mom's face. Like, what are you going to do here? And everything was good. Then I just keep walking around, get right in between the moms, scoop up a calf, toss in the chute. I'm sure if there's any ranchers here listening to me, they're probably like, this guy's an idiot, an absolute idiot. But it works. So we got the first dose, or the first group of them vaccinated, loaded up in the trailer and brought over. And then yesterday we were trying to do another round of it before golf, because we only had 2 more calves to do. I was like, sweet, get this knocked out. Well, didn't consider the fact that these other calves and their moms have been watching us for the last couple of days going, we ain't going in there. Ain't going to happen. We ain't coming anywhere near there. And he doesn't really have a setup where we can push them around to get them into the tub really easily. So his thing was to build like a corral out of fence panels, drop some food in there, and hopefully have them all run in. The calves will follow, and then we close the corral behind them. And that did not work on the last day because the cows are like, F you, buddy. We've seen this game and we're not doing it. So then I proceeded to just like chase them around the field with a lasso. This time it didn't work. So we're just like, what the hell are we going to do here? And another neighbor is driving his tractor down the road and he's watching us, and he stops. He goes, y'all need some help? My neighbor's like, yeah, I could really use it. And he comes out, he goes, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to move these panels right over here. And then we'll take these ones and we'll set them up here and it'll be fine. It was 5 minutes. We had them all in because we were just morons. How we were doing the open corral thing. He goes, yeah, just pull all these over to the fence. So it kind of creates this like alleyway. So you just walk them around the field. When they come around the back of the tub here, then they have to go in. And it's just like, oh my gosh. We've been doing this like this for over a year.
Oh my gosh.
And the neighbor walks by for 5 minutes.
And he's like, oh yeah, just do it this way.
Yeah, you're fixed. Oh my gosh. So, moral of the story, kids. I mean, you can get it done any way you want, but if you're going to make it harder, you better be big.